What's up YouTube, and as requested, today we're going to be going over how to lose weight, my diet, and how I went from fat and chunky to hot and hunky. I'm going to be throwing some quick statistics at you just to remind you that this is an absolutely huge problem, especially in America, as well as you're not in this alone. So let's start off with, in 2018, 79% of Americans reported to be dissatisfied with their body composition, meaning they either wanted to put on muscle or they either wanted to lose weight. Worldwide, 42% of the population is attempting to lose weight, and 80% of the people who do lose weight are not successful at keeping it off for more than a year. But we're here to change that. So as many of you know, there's really only one way to lose weight. Maybe you've lost weight before and just not had success, but the only way is a calorie deficit. And in this video, I'm not only going to just leave you with you need to eat less calories than you burn, but I'm also going to show you how to optimize it and make this process enjoyable. So for those of you who don't know what a calorie deficit is, it's simply just eating less than your body burns. That way your body's having to pull energy from body fat because it's not getting it from food. So by now, by either watching my video or just existing in 2022, you probably understand that the only way to lose weight is a calorie deficit. And now your question is, well, how do I figure out how many calories I need? Because so many people end up over-restricting and harming their metabolism, or people end up eating too much and not seeing any results. So this is what you do. It's very simple. You go to a TDE calculator, or there's a calculator.net has a metabolic calculator. I'll link both of them in the description. I have more success personally with the TDE. It just seems to be a little bit more accurate for me. And you're just going to fill out a few questions: height, weight, gender, etc. And then it's going to give you a number that's a ballpark number. For me, they're always low, but for everybody else, it's going to vary. So take this number, and my recommendation is stick to a diet within the calorie range that it gives you for 3 days. If you don't see any changes within the first 3 days, i.e. you drop a little bit of water retention, maybe even some fat loss if you're really, really strict, then you might need to tweak some things. So the hardest part with any calorie deficit is how to stick to it and how to sustain it. And remember, in any diet, no matter what, whether you're bulking, cutting, maintaining, sustainability is the key. So I'm going to be giving you some of my tips and what I've learned over the course of my weight loss to keep the calorie deficit consistent. Alright, so my first tip for a calorie deficit, and by far the most important, is unless you're at a major health risk, there's no reason for your deficit to be over 500. And for me personally, I think over 300 is a bit large, because most of the population is not looking to drop a ton of weight. They're looking, tried and truthfully, to lose maybe 10 to 20 pounds to just really tone up their physique. Alright, so the second tip is there's really no need to change your diet. I'm going to give you an example right here. So a thing of Smucker's natural peanut butter, which is the healthier alternative, is 190 calories, whereas you can easily replace that for something like powdered peanut butter that is 50 calories a serving. That's going to save you a ton of calories, and honestly, I like how it tastes better. And if you're not having to make an actual diet change there, you're just substituting it with a lower calorie dense item, you're losing weight effortlessly. Alright, so tip number 2, this one is obvious. You're taught this from a kid, but it is simply eat your vegetables. Because here's the thing, I get so many people, I don't enjoy eating vegetables. You're not personally supposed to have a great relationship with them, but what you are supposed to do is, say if you're eating 200 grams of rice, you can easily replace that for 100 grams of rice and 200 grams of broccoli, and now you're eating 100 grams more substance, and you've dropped your calories significantly. So instead of thinking as, I only have to eat vegetables, start looking at it as, I add them to fill myself up. Alright, another thing that's huge that so many people don't understand, it's not vital, but it is big, is meal timing. So if you eat in a similar time period every day, varying probably around an hour, anything more or less than that I feel like might be too much of a shock on your body, but varying within an hour, your hunger cues are going to start to sink. So when you're in this routine of getting hungry at 8, then 11, then 1, then 3, then 5, you're going to stay much more consistent to your diet because you're getting hungry at the same time, and you'll be most likely eating the same or similar things. Alright, so my next tip is going to kind of go with the sustainability one a lot, is don't over restrict yourself, especially if you're not dieting to be on a bodybuilding stage. There is no reason to diet like a bodybuilder. So what this means is, say you get a craving for Reese's, just kind of watch it and eat a moderate and enjoyable amount and then put them up, because what ends up happening is people look at foods like, I can't have them, and this puts them on a pedestal in which they value the food so much that they will begin to have like this deep desire for it, and then they're going to start binge eating it, rather than if you just bring foods like candy, anything that you would deem not healthy, down to your regular diet and eat it in a moderate way like you do most healthy things, you're going to be much more sustainable, because now it's not a special treat, it's just part of your diet. Alright, so now as a reference point, we're going to go over my diet, what I eat, and why I eat this way. Now, I am going to say that how I eat is probably stricter than most, and I wouldn't recommend this for any beginner. And the way I eat is just totally custom to me, as your diet should be for you. So just keep that in mind while watching this, and don't think that I'm trying to promote this as a you eat this way, you will get results. Alright, so for meal 1, I will eat 2 large eggs, 200 grams of egg whites, 150 grams of red potatoes, 100 grams of spinach, 60 grams of white onion, and 40-ish grams of sugar or no sugar added ketchup. And the reason I eat this is A, I enjoy how it tastes. B, it's higher in fat, really high in protein, so it's a little bit harder to digest. And then potatoes as my carb source. Potatoes are one of the hardest, actually they might be the hardest carb for your body to digest. So right in the morning, I like to have a big meal that's going to keep me full up until it's time to hit my pre-workout meal. Alright, meal number 2, and in a perfect day, this is usually my pre-workout meal. So 6 ounces of chicken breast, 200 grams of basmati rice, and then 40 grams of a sugar-free condiment. I usually use G. Hughes barbecue sauce or no sugar added ketchup. It just depends what I'm feeling. And the reason I eat this is it's just super fast to digest, high in protein, gets me a lot of carbs so that I can have some good performance in the gym. And why I choose basmati rice is just, for me, it's the easiest to digest, and it's just really light on the stomach. Post-workout meal, this one varies. So today, for example, is a rest day, so instead I'm just going to replace this with a protein shake. But on a normal day where I'm training, I have 240 milliliters or 1 serving of Fairlife milk and 1 serving of cereal. And why I eat this is, if you spike your glycogen right after a workout, you're going to have much better nutrient delivery to your muscles. Now, it's not necessarily, for most people, I would say it's not necessarily optimal or even necessary, but for me, I can sustain it and it works. So just do a little bit of experimenting with something like this, and if it works for you, try it or keep going. For some people, I know cereal like triggers a craving, so be a little bit careful with this one. Alright, meal 4, I'm going to eat 5 ounces of 93.7 lean ground beef and 200 grams of broccoli with 40 milliliters again of either ketchup or a sugar-free condiment. And I really just like eating this meal because it's high in fat, high in protein. The broccoli is going to also take a while to digest. This one just keeps me full until my last meal of the day. And time for the last meal of the day. So meal 5, I eat 80 grams of oats, 1 scoop of a protein powder, 100 grams of blueberry, 2 servings or 24 grams of powdered peanut butter, and up to 2 servings of sugar-free maple syrup. And the reason I eat this is, A, oats take forever to digest, so that means I'm not going to wake up really hungry. B, I really have a sweet tooth late at night, and the blueberries, the peanut butter, and the sugar-free maple syrup just really helps me. It's high in protein, of course, so we're going to be protein synthesizing or just building muscle as I sleep. And it just conquers a craving when I get home from work or a long day at the gym. Eating this just really helps me. Alright, thank y'all for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave it a like. Remember to subscribe. Maybe even consider sharing this with someone, as this video could potentially maybe change somebody's life. Alright guys, thank you for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.